Right, Jerome? Jerome knows exactly. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. Why? Because Jerome is a skater. Jerome is a poet. Jerome Jerome is an author. Jerome fully pulls through in the things that he wants to do. Right? He keeps going. He does not stop. This is what I want, and I'm going to keep going, and I'm not going to stop until I get it. Until I get it. That's mine. I chose it as mine. I chose this as me, so that's who I'm going to be. Even if it's temporarily, but you followed through, you kept on going, and it has so much to do with discipline, right? It's got so much to do with discipline. It's got so much to do with consistency. So much to do with that. And I honor people. I admire humans like Jerome that are, you know, just able to just keep going, man. Keep going and just, you know, just focus on what it is that I want right now. And it might change a month from now, and it might, but at this moment, what is it that I truly want? And that clarity is so important. And the only way to receive that clarity about yourself is to truly look at yourself, to truly look at your actions, to truly face your thoughts, to truly become the observer of you. Nothing else really matters unless we become that straight observer of ourselves. Nothing else really matters, right? All right. Coming in hot is Jerome, I think. Except it is. All right, all right.
Brother, thank you. Louis.
What's going on, brother Jerome?
Man, everything. Just to hear that word, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Thank
Hey,
you.
man, you know I appreciate you, brother. You know I appreciate you. Like you up there for me, man. I've told you plenty of times, man, and I try to remind myself to tell you, man, because you've been such a great influence in my life, man. Such a great influence. You have no idea, man. When I've had dark moments, man, and your light shines so bright, my brother. So bright, man, you know, and it's
Man.
like we all have those moments, man. We all have those moments where, you know, and I spoke to you the other day on, you know, on a DM, and I told you, man, like, shit, life can feel heavy, man. Life
Hmm.
can feel heavy sometimes, you know, and no matter what situation it is, you know, my situation is not your situation or anybody else's situation. It's mine, and yours is yours, and like your situation might not feel like a big deal to me, but it's a big deal to you at that moment, right? And it feels heavy to you, man, and it's great. It's great to have that support, man. I think I lost you. Can't hear you here, man. I don't know what happened. I'll get you again. Did I lose you?
We're back, we're back.
There we are. There we
Yeah,
are.
yeah. I don't know what happened. It just kicked me out for a second, but I was listening, man. I thank you. You know, you right. You know, it's like we never know when we need that boost, that encouragement, and just that word to know, like, keep going, keep going. We never know. So I just thank you for that, because you know, sometimes we don't realize how far we've come. We don't take that step back, and we don't look back, you know, to see how far we've actually come. So thank you for that reminder, man. I needed that. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Where you at now, man? You're in Texas now, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in Texas. I'm in Live Oak area.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Live Oak area. But yeah, before I X out, you were saying something. Go ahead. Saying what you were saying.
And I was just, I was mainly talking about, the thing of like, do we really want it, right? Do we really want it? Sometimes I was thinking to myself, and I'm like, I have this saxophone, right, that was given to me, um, and I'm like, man, why I wanted to play the saxophone, right, and why am I not playing this sax, right? Why am I not playing this sax? And it's like, I'm not playing this sax because right now my values are strictly and 150% set on my family and on my health journey, right? So that's not where I'm at right now. And it's okay to be there. It's okay to be there. We don't have to like, okay, I wanna have this amount of money, or I wanna have this, or I wanna have that. It's okay. It's okay. And sometimes we beat ourselves up because we're not there. We're not there and we want to be there. But when you end up looking at yourself and you end up facing yourself, you realize, man, like, what how are my actions aligned with that thing that I want? And if it's not, then it's like, okay, do I really want it? That's when you have to face it. Like, do I really want it right now? Do I really, really want it? And yes, I would like to, but I don't really want it. What I really want is to be a good father right now. What I really want is to be a good husband right now. What I really want is to take care of my health and my body and to understand. That's what I really want, man. And it's great to get that clarity, man. It feels good to get that clarity, man. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. Nothing wrong with not being everything, not being everything that you would like to be.
Clarity is power. Clarity is power. They say it. Power.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
How do you feel
yeah.
arrived? They have power.
Hold on, man. And I'm kind of losing your voice. I can see you, but I'm kind of losing your voice.
No
There it
worries. No worries.
is. Now I hear you.
Okay. Yeah. Like, how did you arrive at that? That ultimate clarity for yourself, because some people, they have to do hours of journaling, some people do meditation, some people do all sorts of stuff to get to that vibration of clarity you know
Well, the noise gets a little loud, right? The noise gets a little loud because you have all this stuff coming at you, right? You got all this information coming at you, and you wanna. Once you start meditating and you go into this high level of consciousness within yourself, right? You start to receive all this information, right? And you're like, oh, you start to become kind of like a kid again. You're like, oh, I want to do this, I want to be that, I want to be this, I want to be all kind of things. I want to be a skater, I want to be a singer, I want to be this. And all of a sudden, you in between the foods that you eat that start to cleanse that pineal gland, right? Because I went on this vegan journey, and when I started eating all these fruits and I started eating, all of a sudden you start to become a kid again. You're like, oh man, I want to do all these things. And your family and your friends start looking at you like you're all crazy. You're like, what's wrong with you, man? What is wrong with you, man? Why do you want to do all these things? Like, you're a grown man. Stop, you know? And so you're so excited about doing all the things that you didn't do as a kid, and you're like, man, I missed out on all this stuff that like I should have been doing all this time. Like, where was I? Like, I was stuck in this whole programming thing, right? It's that shift, right? That quantum shift that Dr. Wayne Dyer talked about, and when that quantum shift hits, man, it all starts to unravel, and you start seeing it all so clearly, and you kind of feel like you're going crazy, right? You're like, oh, maybe I am going crazy. These people telling me I'm going crazy, so maybe I am going crazy. And you start to like even question that. And that questioning, man, that questioning. I remember you saying that one day, and it's like, what? And it's the questions. It's the questions that get you there, right? It's the
yeah,
questions that get you there, man.
absolutely. I resonate with everything that you're saying right now, Lewis. Like, questions are the answer. That's what I learned as well. Like, questions got me here.
Yeah.
And asking those deep, thought-provoking questions, those deep probing questions, the questions that we don't want to ask sometimes, the questions that we're afraid to ask ourselves, the questions that we receive from everyone else. And then, going through that phase of people thinking that you're crazy and, feeling ostracized, feeling excommunicado, right? Like there was a movie I watched with John Wick, and, he was associated with the Assassin's Guild, and he was in this group and he was in this community of people doing all these things. And then he did one thing. He did one thing that was against the rules, right? And they stamped his name and they put his name through the system and they said excommunicado. He's excommunicado. Right? They said go take him out. We got to take this guy out. He's not doing the norm, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to conform. We got to take him out. He's got to go excommunicado. So sometimes we feel like that in our social groups, in our families, in our friends, among our loved ones, people that have this idea of who Louis Mesa is in their mind. And now that you're deviating from that idea, it's like, what do they find? Yeah.
They start to find the real you, man, and it kind of insults. It kind of like it feels kind of threatening, I think, to a lot of people, because it's like, okay, like I no longer have that person that I thought I had, a vision of the person that I thought that person was. But little did they know that that person that they were seeing was not the real person. It was just a vision of a person that we wanted them to see, because we weren't in the right, in contact with our true selves, and like you said one day, I remember, and you said these words, and it's like sometimes you got to lose your mind to find yourself, right? And
that's a big one.
That's the way it felt, man. That's the way it felt. Like, damn, when I heard you say that, I'm like, there it is, and I really felt like I was losing my mind. Like, damn, man, like I must be losing my mind. I remember this one dude. A real good friend of mine. He told me, "Hey, man, what's wrong with you, man? That's not the stuff men talk about." Whoa. I'm like, I didn't even know how to answer that. I was like, again, you're questioning everything at that moment. So you're like, damn. You're like, I didn't even know how to answer. I'm like, look, man, maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. I just don't know. But this is where my heart is right now, And then with time, I realized that you got it, I feel like at least for men, I feel like there's a certain age that you're like, we're functioning so much from the lower chakras, and it's all about eating everything you can, having as much sex as you can, like everything. It's all based off of greed, and I can only speak for men in the sense of like, my experiences with other friends and stuff like that. I feel like women go through different feelings and different things, and I feel like their heart opens up a lot faster than ours. I feel like their heart chakra is opened up at a much earlier age than us. And like when my heart opened, man, it poured out so much that I understood why this guy went on ahead and told me, yo, that's not the stuff that men do. Because you're not used to seeing a man open up and speak about his feelings, openly like that. Like to hear a man tell you, hey, man, I miss you, bro. I love you, man. Like, that makes a person feel uncomfortable. How can something so beautiful make a person feel uncomfortable, man? That's, where are we, man? Where are we in life? Like, love is supposed to feel good, man. Love is supposed to feel good, you know, and I feel like, man, like I remember I had a conversation with a dude, and he hadn't cried since he must have been about 40 years old. He hadn't cried since he was 15 years old, man. And I was having that conversation with him, and I was just having a conversation with him. I wasn't even trying to, like, you know, and something I said, I don't remember what it was, and it just, man, it opened him up right there, man. This dude, he was a trucker, you know, 6'5", big dude, always trying, you know how it is. And he opened up, man, and he started crying, man, and he thanked me, and he hugged me, and he's like, man, I never had a man talk to me like that, man. And that was a great confirmation for me, man. Seeing that dude cry like that big ass dude just breaking down like that, like, wow, man, that was a beautiful confirmation.
What did that confirm within you to witness that in someone else? You know, to witness someone who had suppressed or repressed or held down all of that for that many years, for decades, and then you triggered a word, or you said something that just touched his heart and just allowed him to open up, in those cracks to open up for him to let those emotions flow and release. What did that teach you, you know?
Man, that it's all inside of us, man. That it's all inside of exactly that it's all inside of us, and we all come from the same place, right? That we all have these chakras. We all have these energies that are not flowing. They're not flowing, man. Watching you every single time, man, that I run away from Qigong, every single time that I run away or I stop the practice of Qigong and Tai Chi, I feel myself off of balance, man. You know, because you start going in those, you know, those bipolar. You know, I was diagnosed with bipolar when I was about 20-something years old. And it's basically like, yo, go do some Tai Chi, man, and get some freaking earth and sun and grounding in you. I didn't need that medication they gave me, man. All I needed was just to ground and to be able to move my body in a way where it just starts to release this stuff. But releasing that stuff that's been stuck for so long feels like pain, bro. It feels like pain. It doesn't feel nice. The awakening and all this stuff, you know, and watching, when I used to watch people meditating, oh my God, it's so pretty, and so it ain't pretty, man. It's not pretty at all, man. You know, I think about you and your relationship, man. When you mentioned you were in a relationship for a long time with your girl, man, and how painful was that, bro? You know, having to go through that, having to tell that person, having to tell yourself, I don't belong here anymore. Having to tell that person that you know you're gonna hurt, or that person told you, I don't know exactly how it went, but however it went, it's a painful situation, man. It hurts. It hurts to let go of something, especially after how many years? I think you said 10 years, no?
Yeah, it was a decade, you know, and when you're with somebody for at least that long, I know that I definitely felt like you feel like it's become a part of who you are. Like, it's become so ingrained in your identity and your nervous system. Like you become so a part of that relationship, you identify with it, and it's a part of you in a way that, you know, that separation was one of the hardest things. You're reminding me, you know, that was one of the most challenging things I've ever had to do, was that separation, because it feels like you're cutting your arm off. Your arm is a part of you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a part of you, man.
Cut it off. It's like
you're
gonna infect the rest of your body.
Yep.
You know, there's an infection here, and it can't be saved, you know, and it's like, okay, I gotta operate on this, you know, but
it's part of your bloodstream, man. It's part of your bloodstream.
Right, exactly.
It's part of your blood. It's already flowing inside of you, man. Like even if you don't get along, even if it's already a part of you, man. It's already a part of you. It went into your soul. It went into every single part of you. Your meridians are feeling that. Your fascia is feeling that. Everything is feeling that, man. Like it's all your cells. It's like epigenetics, right? Like you start to become like that person and all that stuff, man. You know, I've been with my wife a long time, man. And I can tell you that, wow, man, like we are, when they say, you know, you don't like to say, your better half or whatever, you know, all these things that people say, but in a way you do become that person becomes you, man. Like it does happen. It's epigenetics, man. I see it in my house with my kids that, you know, there's things that I haven't talked about that they already know. And I'm like, how in the world did you know that about me? Or how did, you know, it's like, it's just epigenetics, man. They pick up the energy. You know? You can hear me okay? All right, good. Call was coming in, just wanted to make sure. Um, so yeah, man, and I've seen that, man. I've seen that in my family. I've seen that in, you know, and even these conversations, like just like listening to you or listening to Nabiha, you know, or listening to Jesse Tree, you know, like that, we're picking up that energy, man. Like we've seen each other one time. One time.
Yeah. At the
How
skating
in
rink.
the world? How in the world can I feel so close to a person that I've only seen one time, bro? What is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah. I
energy?
remember it was at
Yeah, the
mhm.
skating
It
rink.
was at the roller rink. Yeah.
So I'm like, man, how in the world can you feel so close to a person? Like to me, you're my brother, man. To me, you're a close brother. Like you, and I'm like, damn. Like if somebody asked me who my closest people are, I have you as one of my closest people, man. Like it's like nobody knows Jerome in my family. You know, my kids know me, but like, you know, my kids know me. I speak about you all the time and this and that, you know. Um, but it's 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 so powerful, you know, like powerful. There it is, like like Louisa just said, powerful. Uh, so you know, it is, man. It is, man, and this journey is so great, man. Being on this side and being able to see all these things, to see all this stuff just get clearer and clearer and clearer as time passes, man. It's great, man. It's great. And I thank you, man. I tell you, I thank you because anytime I stop believing in myself, I I I keep listening to your words, man, and it reminds me, man. It reminds me. It reminds me to be able to be me, man. It reminds me to it's okay. It's okay, man. It's okay. You are a lion, man. You're a lion. We all get scared. We all feel like the world is coming down on us sometimes, you know. But there's a lion inside of you that can roar, still roar, man,
Yeah.
still roar,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
And this is why I come out and I do these lives, man. And it's mainly selfish and selfishness, you know. It's selfish and selfishness, and I get to do this, man. And I say, you know what? This is therapy, man. This is therapy. I get to do this for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I have a lot of nephews, man. I have a lot of nephews. In total, I think it's 25, man.
Wow. Wow.
And nephews and nieces, you know, and I've been at parties, you know, and they tell me something. No, I heard you the other day saying this and that, and you know, this little kid,
Mm-hmm.
7, 8, 10 years old telling me he heard what I was
Mm.
saying. Like, what? You heard me say that? Like, oh, man.
Mm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
huge,
He's
man.
listening. He's listening. Yeah.
That's huge to know that a child was affected by something I said, bro.
Yeah, your energy, it all matters. Your words matter, your form of expression, it matters. Your moments, they matter. This time, it matters. Our life, it matters. Our feelings, they matter. Our emotions, they matter. And I love how you said, Lewis, your choice of words is so intentional. You're so specific when you use your words. And I love that because you said, I get to do this. You didn't say you didn't even say I want to do this. You didn't even say I need to do this. You said I get to do this. Right?
I
I get to
get to
do
do
this.
this.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I'm so blessed. I get to do this. I get to do this. I get to do this. Right? Yeah.
Yeah,
You know.
man.
So that
Yep. Yep.
that little reframe that changes everything. That one little word I get to.
Yeah, man.
That changes everything.
And that's gratitude, right? That's internal gratitude. That's authentic internal gratitude, man. And gratitude is so beautiful, man. Gratitude is, and sometimes it comes with pain, right? That, like, most of the time, at least, for a lot of people, it comes with pain, and that pain could keep you in such a bad place, right? And if you can just pivot, and you pivot, and you're like, oh, there's gratitude, there's gratitude. If not, then you're on the other side of it, and you're like, ah, oh, there you are. There's that light, man. There's that light.
Like, there it is.
You know,
Yeah.
man, if you can just pivot, man, if you can just pivot and see that light for that moment, man, and if you miss that little window, oh man, and you can go into such a dark place, bro. That window is so what do you think, man? Like how does somebody like that's in such a dark place, like how do you help a person pivot, man? Like, or can you help, or like, I don't think you can. I've tried so many times to force a pivot. and, and another person,
Right.
I'm like, I
Right.
see it for you, bro. I
Right.
see it. It's right there. It's right
Right.
there. Like, and you can't force that pivot, man.
Can't force it. It's got to be flow, no force. Even a basketball player, they on the court, but if they try to force a pivot, they might break their ankles,
Yeah,
right?
man. Yep, yep,
They might tear something, some ligaments might get torn, it might not end up pretty. It might not be pretty. You try to force it, try to power it, try to make it, try to control it. But when you allow, you know, one of my friends, he told me, he said, you know, you might not always see the sun. You might not always see the light. But if you don't see the light, you can still be the light. And I remember he said that because he said that the clouds may be overcast. It may be that you can't see the sun peeking through, but somehow you know that the sun is still there. You know, even if you look up, you don't see it in the air. You know, the sun is still there. So it's
yep, yep.
that
The
knowing.
sun is still there, man. God is still there, right? God is still there. The universe is still there. It's always there. Everybody knows that. That thing, that unexplainable, unseeable, untouchable thing is there. It's there. Dude, I told you the other day my son had robotic surgery. Okay? Robotic surgery. The doctor's finger, okay? This size was bigger than my son's heart. There was no way of him doing that surgery. It had to be robotic, right? Now, it ends up, this is how beautiful the universe, God, and this extraordinary, unexplainable, no name, you can't even name this thing, you can call it God, you can call it, but this unexplainable thing, which is involuntary, okay? My son got surgery. After the surgery, there was this part of his heart that the blood was flowing completely backwards, okay? And the surgeon says, look, man, I can't mess with his heart anymore. That's it. Whatever happens from now on happens, but I can't mess with his heart anymore. It's got to stay like that. It's flowing the wrong way in that section, but it's working, bro. So let's leave it like that. We'll keep on getting checkups, but it is what it is. Said, hey, come on, man, let's go. That's it. Everything was done. I go back, you know, every checkup, whatever. And then all of a sudden the doctor says, hey, you don't need to bring your son back anymore, man. He's all right. He's good. But just in case, just come back in about a year, you know, if you want to. But he's already good, man. That's it. It's been enough years. I don't want, he was funny. He was a funny guy. He's like, don't bring me healthy kids here anymore, man. So then I go back about 2 years later, 3 years later, I don't know when now, when my son started playing basketball and stuff, he started getting like a little bit of, he would get exhausted, so he would feel like chest pain. So I got worried. I'm like, man, maybe there's something going on. So I went back to the cardiologist. The cardiologist does the whole exam. I'm like, so what's going on with the thing with his heart and the blood flowing backwards? He's like, it's not there anymore. He's like, it's flowing perfectly fine now. Everything got fixed. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, yeah, nothing is flowing backwards. The heart is exactly how it's supposed to be now. Come on, man. If that's not confirmation that everything is just trying to heal, man. Your body's trying to heal. The universe is trying to heal. Everything is trying to heal.
The time.
You know, my mother-in-law right now is throwing up and having constant diarrhea and all this stuff, going through this, and she's like, oh man, I'm so sick. And I looked at her in the eye and I said, hey, you're healing, man. Look at all the mucus you're releasing. Look at all this stuff you're releasing, man. I don't want to hear you say that you're sick.
Right.
Be grateful for this pain that you're going through right now, even if it hurts, because this is you healing.
Wow.
So this is time for you to be grateful for this that you're going through. She's like, how am I supposed to be grateful for pain? I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what you're supposed to be right now. You know? And those are the confirmations, man, that everything is just trying to heal, man. And until we don't realize that everything is trying to heal, we won't heal ourselves, man. Because we're trying to be something we're not. We're trying to force a healing. We're trying to force this. We're trying to force a relationship. We're trying to force a job that we don't like. We're trying to force a relationship that's not going to work. We're trying to force all these things, and because somebody said that was the way it's supposed to be. Somebody outside of you. You know? It's...
Man, thank you for that testimony. Thank you. You know?
Yeah, man. I'm glad you brought it out of me, man, you know?
Thank you for sharing that, man. I never knew that, and that's a testimony. You know, the way that you flip the script, the way that your perception of that paradigm was so paradoxical in that moment of pain. You know, that moment of pain, you're like, no, you're not sick. You're healing. Right?
And it comes
Just
so clear to you now, right?
To have that is, I mean, that's so important, you know, and the fact that her son had it, you know, sometimes people that are the closest to us, they can reveal things to us that, you know, that changes everything. if we allow ourselves to let that information come in, not go in one ear and out the other, but actually to absorb it, you know. What do you feel like it gave for her in that moment, even though it was very challenging? I can assume it was extremely challenging for her to have that gratitude attitude in the moment of pain. Do you feel like your words were able to sink through?
I think so, and I hope so. You know that one can only hope. You love is very powerful, right? So when you speak from love, like it has to penetrate, man. It's got to penetrate. It's got to penetrate in some way. It may not penetrate 100% how you want it, but I think love. I know love is the most powerful thing that we have inside of us, man. And it can make us a millionaire. It can it can um it, it can make a relationship or break a relationship. You know, um, it can do all types of things. But at the end, no matter what, like if you're making a choice that's aligned with love, if you're using words that are aligned with love, at the end, all all you want is to be happy with yourself, right? All you want to do is know that is feel proud of yourself and feel that you're making a difference, right? That you're doing something that matters for yourself, the people you love, and if you can extend that even further to people outside of you, to your community, to you know, if you can do that, you know, all these motivational speakers, all these people all these artists, you know, that are able to speak on a broader level. Yeah, everybody's creating that ripple effect. Everybody's doing something to create some sort of ripple effect, whether it be one way or another. Um, I don't see things as bad or good anymore. Now I see things more as balance, you know, like there's always these densities, you know, and it's like the density is just going to move, you know, it's on you right now and that density will move to somebody else, but the density is always there. You know, we might see it as ugly or pretty or bad or good or whatever it is, but it's just densities that just keep moving, you know, and we end up in one density at one point, another density at another point. We pick up a density from somebody else, you know, and some people might call something voodoo or, you know, or this or that, or, you know, but in reality, it's, to me now, it's just the density. Like there is no wrong or right. There's what you find inappropriate or appropriate, and what might be appropriate for me might not be appropriate for you,
Very,
you know.
very true. And you know, what did they say though? The only way that we can be free is for you to be you and me to be me,
And me
you
to
know?
be me, bro. Yeah.
So keep that lion alive so we can ride. Yes.
Oh man, much love to you, man. Much love to everybody who got to be a part of this today, man. And
Thank, thank you.
hope it gives somebody some sort of reflection,
It al-
man, into themselves, you
it
know.
already has. Yeah. It's giving it to me, you know, already. So thank you. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Thanks for joining me today, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much love.
Much love, man.